So the major scale is that one magical scale that is the mother of all the scales, and everything derives from that one scale. So how am I going to memorize all of the scales? Well, here's the thing, you don't have to.
OMG.
In order for you to get to any major scale, and I repeat, any major scale, C, C sharp, D, F, G, W, any major scale at all, there's only two things you need to know: the pattern and the formula for the scale. And I'm actually going to teach you both in this video right here. So let's go. So hello everybody and welcome to a new video and welcome to my channel where we talk about everything music from death metal to Queen and everything in between. And welcome to the third video of Theory Tuesdays on this channel. On this series I'm trying to do short videos teaching you guys some theory. This applies of course to guitar and any other instrument at all. Piano, saxophone, you name it, it's all the same. Okay, so like I said on the previous video, a scale typically has about 7 notes, and then the eighth, the octave, is the first note of the second time around. Because music is cyclical, so it starts over once it ends. So if we go to the mother of all the scales, which we've already talked about, and that's C major, it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This note, which is the octave, and the first note are the same note. They're a C. So if we keep going, we get to the eighth note again, and that's another C. So that would be 2 octaves above the root note, which is the first note. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 1 octave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Second octave. Makes sense, right? Now this is where the first part of the lesson comes in. We're going to talk about the pattern. So if we actually learn the pattern on the fretboard, it looks like this. Right? And we decide to move that over like 2 frets. That is the same scale, meaning it's still a major scale, it's just on a different key, because we actually moved the root note from a C to a D. Now let's say we want to play the E major scale, then we move the root note from the D to the E. So that would be D, D sharp, E. If you don't know how to get to the notes, check out the first video on this series. So this would be E. See, the fingers lay on the same pattern on the fretboard, just, a few frets over. Let's do an F. G. A. And so on. You get the idea. Now the cool thing about learning the pattern is the fact that you don't really have to think about the notes behind the scale. You just have to remember how to lay your fingers on it, and your fingers and your head will do the rest. So if you're improvising over a track that's on C major, all you have to know is where to place your fingers, and you can do a lot of damage with that. It's simple, really. Of course, we'll get into improvising later on. Okay, so now check this out. This is the second part of the lesson and probably the most important part of the lesson, because this is actual theory and it applies to any other instrument. I mean, learning the pattern is really cool, but it doesn't really apply to a saxophone or a piano. You're not going to be able to do this on a piano. But that's what's really cool about music theory. It actually translates from instrument to instrument. If you know the theory behind it, then all you have to do is find where the notes are, and then you'll be able to play anything. Okay, so check this out. If we actually analyze the notes behind the scale, you'll see that on the C major scale, we actually have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then back to C. No accidentals, no flats, no sharps. Now, if we move that pattern over and we started out on a D, that doesn't mean that we're going to do D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and so on. We have to respect the pattern. So it becomes D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and then D. See what happened there? It changed. Let's try the E major scale, for instance. We have E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, and then E. See, it also changed. See, we have different accidentals. And that is because of the fact that even though the pattern is the same and the formula is the same, it starts out on a different note and then it doesn't really add up exactly the same. Okay, so let me explain that a little bit better. And once I do, you'll be able to find any major scale at all. So check this out. We have C for C major scale, right? D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. You should know that by memory at this point. It doesn't have any sharps and it's alphabetical. It starts on the C and it goes all the way up to the G and then it starts over at the A again. So it's C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, right? Okay, so behind this, the intervals make up the formula. So what is an interval? I actually explained that on the previous video, but it is the distance between a note and the next. So between the C and the D, we actually have one tone, a whole tone. So we do W there. Then between the D and the E, we have another whole tone, another W. Then from E to F, we have a half a tone. That's one fret. Then from F to G, we have another whole tone. Then from G to A, another whole tone. Then from A to B, another whole tone. And then from B to finish it off and get to C, we only have the one half tone. So the formula behind the scale is whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. That means 2 frets, 2 frets, 1 fret, 2 frets, 2 frets, 2 frets, 1 fret. So, starting out on C, we have C for the root note, whole, D, whole, E, half, F, whole, G, whole, A, whole, B, half, C. That's C to C. One octave. One full scale. So now check this out. Let's start it out on D. So we started out on D and then we punch in the formula. So we have whole, whole, half, whole, 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 and half. We know that it starts on D, then it should end on D if we do it all right. And what we got to do is just punch it in. So what's D plus a whole step? D plus a whole step is D, D sharp, E. So this is E. Now what's E plus a whole step? We have E, E, F, F sharp. So that's our second note, F sharp. Then from F sharp to the next note, we only have a half a step, so that's G. Then from G to A, that's a whole step. Then A plus a whole step is B. Then B plus a whole step is C sharp, because we have no accidental between B and C. And then from C sharp plus a half a step, we get to D. So that is our D major scale. And then when we actually play it, it sounds and looks like this. We started on D. We do a whole step to E, another whole step to F sharp, half a step to G, another whole step to A, another whole step to B, another whole step C sharp, and half a step to close it off at D. And that's all that a major scale is. Let's just do one more for fun. And to get the concept across, let's just try G. So we'll do G, right? So we got G, then we punch in the formula. I'll just do it quickly. And I hope you guys can see that. Yeah, I think you can. So we have G, and then we should finish it off at G again. If you actually punch it in and you get to the last one and it's not the same as the first, then you messed up along the way. So this is where you check off. So we have G plus a whole step, that'll be A. A plus a whole step, that is B. B plus a whole step plus a half a step, that is C. C plus a whole step is D. D plus a whole step is E. Then E plus a whole step is F sharp. And then from F sharp, half a step, we get to G. And that's a perfect major scale. What a concept, right? Just punch in the formula and you're good to go. So to sum up, if you need to know the theory behind any of the major scales, you just look at the formula. And then you can come up with every individual note that's in there. And that's going to be super important once we get into building chords and improvising and stuff like that. But if you want to get improvising and playing quick, also learn the pattern. It's going to help you out big time. Also, don't be afraid to cross-check between, the playing part and the theory part. That way you can actually see and learn, where the notes lie and why they do what they do. Anyway, guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please drop me a like if you did. Drop me a comment in the comment section down below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel like a man if you haven't yet. And if you enjoy the content and you want to help the channel out big time, make sure you tell your friends about the channel. And also, if you can, go visit my Patreon. A little goes a long way. We surely do appreciate it. I'll see you guys next time. Pat out, metal on, dudes.